Today I want to talk about intensity and focus. Now, intensity and focus can make the difference between failure and success. Last weekend I was at my 12-year-old girl's last home recreational league basketball game. And I don't know, I'm sure it's called different things throughout the country, but here's called Rec League, and they get together a couple of evenings a week and practice, and then they play 2 to 3 games, sometimes 4 games on a Saturday, and sometimes even running into Sunday. In addition, I'll tell you this, it's not relevant to this part, but my daughter also plays middle school ball. And so anyway, the last 4 years, I have seen a lot of girls basketball. So anyway, I'm at my girls' last recreational league game. And the team they were against came out to play. And it didn't take but a couple of plays, and I was focused on this little girl on the opposing team. Now, I don't mean that in a creepy way. I hope you understand. But there was something about her. I'm always looking when I'm in a group of people or when I'm out and about at people that stand out. There's something about them that stands out. And I always try to figure out what it is. What makes that person different? What is it that grabs your attention? And I sat there for probably 5 minutes saying, what is it about that little girl that has drawn my attention? And finally I realized what it was. Her intensity and focus on that game was something I had never seen before. Bear in mind, I've been to 12, 16 games just of Rec League this year, plus the middle school games, plus a lot of high school games that were scheduled on top of the middle school games. So I have seen a lot of basketball this year, and I've never seen the focus that this young girl brought to it. And I was like, wow. That was amazing. She was like a heat-seeking missile. There wasn't one twitch that our team made that girl didn't see. Now, why it's important, there's a couple of players on my daughter's team that are really, really good. Their hand-eye coordination is great. Their dribbling skills are great. Their speed is great. Their reaction time is great. And I started watching this young girl that I'm talking about compared to these two players. And if you just took and tried to measure the quality of their play, the two girls on my daughter's team would be better physically. But when you factored in the effectiveness of what this girl was doing compared to the two players on my daughter's team, she was better than them. And I thought, wow, that is amazing. She does not have the physicality of these other two players, but yet, when you watch her, she is better. And I thought, wow, that is something. How do you use that? How do you use it in your life? And I sat there, and as my wife would elbow me saying, Dal, she's obviously been married to me about 20 years now, known me for 22 years. She knows when my mind's wandering, when it's somewhere else, and she'd elbow me, Dal, this is your daughter's last rec game. You better pay attention. And I was trying, don't get me wrong, and no disrespect to my daughter, because I was watching. I told her I was multitasking. But it's like, wow, this is amazing. And as I sat there and thought about it a little more, I even realized this. And this is probably the most important part. And that is in the concept of basketball. And I'm using basketball as an example, but it can apply to anything in your life. It can apply to your job, to your personal life, to your spiritual life, whatever it is you're wanting to change. That in basketball, for instance, if I, 30 years ago, had wanted to play basketball, I could practice every day, all day, and I just didn't have the physicality to ever do it. I could practice, and yes, I could get better, but I would never be good. And so there's a limitation on what we are capable of lots of times. Now, if you get on the internet, people say, no, you can be whatever you want to be. Well, in reality, that's just not necessarily always true. It depends what you want to be. But I realized that certain physical traits and things like that you don't control. But intensity and focus is something you do control. And I'm like, wow. You could practice and practice and practice, and that girl may not ever be any better. But with intensity and focus, she was. Imagine if you would apply that to your life, what that intensity and focus could do. If you run up against a wall and you say, man, I've done everything I can do, then focus on your intensity. Focus on focusing. That is the changer. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Check us out. Thanks.